I'm waiting for my friends here to join in. All right, Elliot is here. I don't know if Angry is joining. Tier list time. Yeah, dude, we're doing a Prez 2 tier list specifically. We're gonna just go through these kits. We're gonna look at what they get for Prez 2 and then decide where they rank. As I make the list, I will probably move things around. By the way, you guys can see the window, right? Like this looks. You guys can see this. We can move stuff. It's all good. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started then. So the first kit, I'm just going to go through the kits in the order that they're on here. So the first kit is Creeper. Now, Creeper gives you, what's it called? Gold legs instead of prot leather. It's pretty good, but I also don't think that Creeper really gets to go, like, I think Creeper's still B tier. No Iron Sword. The utility is strong, but not like... I'm tiering the actual kit, including Prez 2. So we're talking about like the overall kit as it exists with the Prez 2. I don't think anyone's done this before, which is why I want to do this. I think this would be very interesting. So yeah, we're going to start off with Creeper. I think it's probably like a high B tier kit, even with Prez 2. Because the gold legs are a nice extra armor, but they're not best in slot. So like late game, they don't really matter that much. And the rest of the kit is still very, not underwhelming, but not, like, great. It's just kind of decent. So, I think it's there. Florist is trash. This is... Well, okay, so again, the Prez upgrade is trash. So, we have to rank Florist as it exists normally. I would say Florist is maybe C tier. Maybe D tier. I don't know. Somewhere in one of these two. We have Astro next. Astro gets some Prot 1 on the chain. So the kit is honestly not terrible. It's consistently a pretty decent amount of gear, and res pots are kind of underrated. I'm going to say this kit is also a B tier kit, personally. I think Astro's good. I don't think it's nuts, but I think it's definitely a slept-on kit. Very good armor potential. The res pots are very good if you can use them properly. It's not bad. Woodsword, I think this is Rogue, right? The Woodsword is Rogue. So, Rogue Prestige is literally, one prot level on the boots and one feather falling level on the boots. So this kit is basically identical. The feather falling is like a nice quality of life upgrade, but it's not a best in slot feather falling. You're just playing worse Shadow Knight at that point. So this might make people sad. I think Rogue is C tier. I want to put it above Florist because Speed 1 is decent, but like the kit's utility is still relatively limited, and its power bow is good, but it's like, yeah, it's just okay. It's a very like average kit. It's not terrible, but it's not like fantastic. It's just kind of there. It's okay. All right. Fisherman. Fisherman gets Depth Strider 1 and Prot 1. Literally do not care, E tier. No, I'm kidding. Fisherman's a D tier kit. It gets full gear, which is decent. It gets an okay weapon that is always a rod, so it's consistently decent. But Fisherman is outclassed by the existence of Hype Train, Snowman, and even Farmer. Even though Farmer is fucking terrible, it's still... Fisherman just doesn't do crit damage. That's a problem. Speaking of which, Hype Train. Hype Train, I think, is a C tier kit. People honestly kind of like sleep on this, but Prestige Hype Train specifically gets Prot 3 Iron Boots. It gets a clean Iron Sword, and XP is back in the game. It gets a Rod, and it gets the rest of its leather stuff. So honestly, like, Depth Strider 1's literally useless, bro. Literally, anything besides Depth Strider 3 is honestly not that big of a deal. Like, Depth Strider 2 is pretty easy to counter. Depth Strider 1 is literally, get that out of me. Doesn't matter. We don't care. Not at all. But yeah. This kit, I think Hype Train is better than Fish by a pretty decent margin because it has armor potential. It has an iron sword and it has a rod. It's a good combination. Honestly, this kid is like kind of like just worse Snowman. I would argue maybe this kid's like above. I think it's the best kit in C tier so far. All right, the arrow is this Archer or Ranger? I don't remember which one this is. I need someone on stream to tell me which one it is. It's Ranger. All right, S tier. Do I really need to like? Does this need explanation? It gets a sword. It gets a sword, and it has a punch bow. Or I think it gets a sword at 10 anyways, but it gets prot 1. But regardless, Ranger is S tier. It's like honestly probably the best kit in the game. It's fucking retarded. Gold sword is Knight, correct? Yeah. So Knight Prez 2 gets 2 levels of protection. This kid's still C tier. It is okay gear. Okay. Good weapon. Gets food. It's okay. It's not underwhelming. It's not good. Honestly, looking at this, I feel like this might maybe C tier because it's consistent. Like the thing is, although Fisherman is like not good, part of what makes kits good or bad in Blitz is the consistency. Yes, there will definitely be kits there, but that's the thing that makes a kit good or bad in Blitz is how consistent the kit is. So all of the kits so far are like relatively consistent because they get full gear and utility every time. There's not really a risk with them. All right, Meatmaster. This kit gets a lot of protection. It is a decent kit. However, it has no utility and it's clearly outranked by a lot of kits. I kind of want to put this in D, but I mean it is a prot 4 diamond piece, so the question is the kit more valuable than Fish? I feel like it's better than Fish. The question is it better than Knight? And yes, this is a real question. Does the armor potential of Meatmaster outrank the inconsistency of getting no middle pieces, which are the hardest to find in chests and the most impactful pieces? Better than Rogue? Yeah, I could agree with that. The armor potential is definitely stronger than Rogue. I think that's fair. I don't know. We'll leave it there for now because I think Hype Train's actually really good. Donkey is A tier. That doesn't need to be explained. All right, Scout. It gets a wood axe. Hype Train should be in D tier. Hype Train is better than Fisherman by a mile. It's better than Fish. It's at the very minimum here, and that would bump this down. But remember, Fish's armor potential, or it's like there. Yeah, Rod and Clean Iron Sword is good, and Hype Train Prestige 2 gets prot 3 on the boots. It's like a snowman helmet. Like, that kit's actually good. That kit is slept on, but like crazy. It's really good. We can like rearrange stuff after we get stuff on here. You don't get sharpness 100% of the time, sure, but the kit is consistent. I don't think a kit deserves to be in D, E, or F unless it is underwhelmingly inconsistent or just underwhelming in general, even if it is consistent. Prot 3 iron boots. That's not negligible. I think there's protection levels on the leather as well. And Snowman, which is a prot 3 helmet, iron boots, and no protection on the leather is like 43% armor or something, which is like actually good. So like this kit is basically just like a slightly worse flavor of Snowman or Farmer. It's honestly good. It is a good kit. People don't respect it, but it's good. We'll rearrange like orders of stuff. All right, Scout. Oh, see, drinkable speed potions are very fucking good, and it gets iron boots, which is decent, and it gets a wood axe. I think this kit's B tier. Where in B tier, I'm not sure yet. I think this kit is B tier. It's inconsistent, which keeps it out of like these two, but the kit is really strong because it always has a weapon. I think B tier is a good place for Scout. All right, Baker. Prez 2 Baker gets an extra potion, which is essentially compensating, and then it gets a leather helmet. This is an A tier kit. It's not S tier. I think the nerf to the number of potions that Baker gets, honestly, and the duration as well, has really brought Baker down. It's still a very strong kit, but it's not really as dominant, so to speak. All right, slime. Protection on the leather is negligible. It's basically the same kit. I still think the kit is an A tier kit. KB weapons are kind of annoying sometimes, but slowness is very powerful. Being immune to arrows is very powerful. It's just a very good kit. Its weakness is getting outgeared, and now that Donkey isn't quite as nuts and not everyone has a ton of gear, outside of Blitz hours, slime is just, it's a good choice. Alright, Golem. This kit's going straight to S tier. Particularly, Prez 2 gets an extra potion. I mean, I don't know. I think Golem is considerably better than Baker at this point right now. You could disagree with me, but I don't know. Alright, Troll. What does this actually get for Prestige before I rank it? It gets Prot 2, Prot 3, Prot 2, Prot 2, a bone instead of a stick, nausea potions. Alright. I don't want to put this kit in F, but it's definitely like, it's E or F. It's not good, but the snowballs, I feel like the snowballs in Troll are like okay enough that it's not F tier. It's definitely not a good kit, but the utility of snowballs, like I've gotten Troll from random a few times, and it's good enough to just carry you. Like the snowballs alone, very strong. Alright, Paladin. I might be slightly biased, but I think Prez 2 Paladin is on fucking crack, dude. 3 levels of protection on top half iron, 3 healing pots, and an iron sword. With max blitz, you outgear and armor a 10, just with getting chain legs and iron boots. The kit is crack. It is so fucking good. It's a flavor of Golem that trades the Gapple for a lot more gear, and arguably speaking, that's worth it. Again, slightly biased, but I think it's reasonable. All right, Pigman gets another level of protection and a damage pot. I think this kit's in B. We'll rearrange. Like I said, we'll rearrange the kits after we have everything placed in tiers. Pigman gets a decent amount of gear relatively consistently, and the damage potions are pretty fucking good. So I think this is fair. Spelly, D or E. I'm gonna put it in D because it does get an Iron Sword tier weapon. It does get a hat, but it's not good. It's underwhelming. Definitely worse than Knight. Definitely worse than any of these other kits here. Very bleh. Reaper, A tier. Have you fucking seen those potions? Guardian. Ooh. It's time to make Elliot a sad man. Is Guardian even on here? It is. It gets another instant health potion. I mean, it's essentially like having 3 Gapples. Like, honestly, this kit's either B or A. I don't know, man. I don't know which one I want to put it in. I don't know which one. What do you think, Elliot? You play this kit the most. Do you think it's more of a B tier kit or an A tier kit? With the kits that we've currently placed, where do you think it stacks up more, A or B? I think this kit is definitely good. I'm not going to try and bash it, but I want to know. Do you think it's more in line with these nuts kits or more in line with kind of this utility here? If it was me personally, I'd pick B, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking, is like high B. I think it's very good. Viking. I mean, the thing about Viking is it's basically Meatmaster, but it's slightly worse than Meatmaster. I don't know. I kind of want to put this in D, even though I want to put these kits beside each other because they're very similar. It's also I don't know. This again makes me want to put Meat down here and maybe put Rogue here. Maybe even put Rogue in D because it's not that good, but it has a lot of okay utility. I don't know. It kind of makes me want to do that. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. All right. Red Dragon Prestige. Iron Sword. This kit gets pretty decent gear, and with an Iron Sword and decent utility, I want to say it's B, maybe. It's very good, but it still doesn't really give you a huge advantage because it's just worse than playing Blaze. I feel like. I think Blaze is probably high B, low A. I don't know which one I want to put it in. Fire is a really, really, really good utility. Very slept on. Quite possibly A tier. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Fire Axe is nuts. Double damage bug. Turning people down. Extra blaze, like you said. Like, I think this kit's really good. Yeah, I'm going to put it in high B for now. Wolf Tamer. This kit is a flavor of Meat Master that's, I think, B tier. I think Wolf is B tier. The wolves are really fucking annoying. I think the mobs are better than, like, Iraq, but I don't know, man. All right, Farmer, F tier. All right, so hear me out. It's not actually F tier, but I want to put it in F tier because giving your opponents eggs is fucking stupid. Sir Hunt Predator, fix my fucking kit, please. In all actuality, like, this kit would be an A tier. This would be an A, but because it gives everyone eggs, like, I don't actually know where I want to put it. I'm going to put it in, I'm just going to take it off and wait, and we'll have a discussion on it. Warrior, I think this kit's A tier. I think it's here. We'll discuss Farmer. We'll discuss how much of an impact it has. Warrior is very good. It's not S tier. Definitely not S tier. If it had speed, it would be double S tier, but it's not S tier. Iraq. I think Iraq is high B. Okay, Warrior gives a consistent amount of gear. It gives some healing. The speed one is not negligible. I don't think it's a trash kit. But I guess I could see an argument for moving it down to, like, B tier because the utility isn't necessarily insane. It's just kind of like, in my opinion, this kit is actually worse than Baker because the utility gets worse by a little bit. But I still think it's very good. But I think Iraq is high B. The utility is very good and the gear is pretty consistent. I think the fact that it gets an iron sword makes it better than Wolf. How much better? I'm not really sure. But I think the trade-off of the protection for, like, the iron sword is, I think it's fair. Yeah. Phoenix. Huh. Where do I put Phoenix? Is Phoenix even, like, on here? I don't see Phoenix on this list. I think they forgot to put it on here. What does Prez 2 Phoenix get over normal Phoenix? Yes, I know what it is. I'm saying I don't think it's on the list of what the kits get. It gets a gold chestplate. So it gets prot 4 boots, a gold chestplate, a prot 1 helmet. How many uses on the flame bow? Is it 9 or 10? I think this kit is like high B, low A, honestly. I don't know if it's better than Blaze. It might be better than Blaze. It has more armor potential and the bow is nuts. This it's kind of crack. Like, honestly, this kit's really good. Hunter. Hunter gets an extra speed pot and 4 arrows. So the thing about Hunter is, like, the kit is good, but yeah. So that's the thing. It is better than Scout normally. But Prestige Scout gets a wood axe, and don't discount the value of a wood axe. Like, having a weapon consistently every game, particularly when you get speed, is a big deal. I don't know. I feel like Hunter's still probably a B tier kit. I think it's probably still better than Scout, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, the Scout getting a weapon, it's the same thing with armor. You'll see when we get to that. It makes a difference. Shadow Knight is A tier. I think Shadow Knight is borderline S. I don't know if it's better than Donkey, but one of these two kits is the best A kit. Warlock. It's just Creeper, but worse. Creeper's here. It's probably B tier. Maybe C tier, to be honest, because the utility in Warlock's kind of bad. Strength Potions kind of suck now. Snowman. I think this kit is A tier. I think this kit is just farmer, but you can't block it. So I think it's A tier. Yeah, that's why. It's like the diamond chestplate is good, but, like, Creeper is just better. This kit's A tier. I don't know where in A tier yet. We'll figure out the rankings later. Horse, probably C tier. Probably C. Tox is just better Reaper. We'll figure out the exact order again. What the fuck is this? This is Jockey. Maybe B, maybe C. I don't know. Jockey's pretty good. It's pretty consistent gear, and the mobs aren't negligible, but I feel like the utility is kind of underwhelming, so I feel like it's a high C tier kit. And not... Like, Iraq is just better because it gets more. Even though Jockey more consistently gets more gear, Iraq gets more utility, and the utility is kind of what brings the kit up in general. Like, it's really hard to have a kit that's higher than C tier if its utility isn't really good. Alright. Diver. Alright, this change doesn't change anything really, like, at all. Actually, never mind. Jockey, it's another mob. I kind of want to put it in B tier. I know there's a lot of kits in B tier, so we might clean this up. I think Diver is pretty safely in C tier. Its utility is literally only good against nons. It's an armor potential kit, so it's pretty decent, but I think it's worse armor potential kit than Meat. Honestly, it might even be D tier, honestly. Like, it's decent. The armor potential is decent, but this kit is similar armor potential to Diver, slightly worse, but it gets the axe, which I think is, like, it's kind of important. Like, not having an iron sword is a big deal. Tim. This kit fucking sucks. Probably C. Armor is A. Armor, Prez 2 armor with a wood axe has no weaknesses. If you play the kit on a good map for it, like Alice or Alexandria, it's fucking nuts. It counters, like, every utility kit in the game. So the only, like, the hard counter to armor are healing kits, which are obviously going to be above it. But I don't think you can put this kit lower than A when it gets a wood axe. Archer Prez 2. What does Archer Prez 2 get? 16 arrows and prop 2 on the chest plate. This kit's still A tier. Bow spamming is really strong. Possibly S tier, but, like, I think it's A tier. Alright. Let's talk about Farmer, and then let's rearrange some of these things where you guys might think they're in the wrong place. So, Farmer. I've played this kit a decent amount. I personally think he's fucking terrible. Giving other people eggs is so bad. It doesn't get a large stack of them, which means you constantly have to refill. Like, the only benefit of this kit over Snowman is that you can block it, which isn't negligible, but I don't know, man. Where do you guys think that ends up putting Farmer? Because I'm kind of at a loss here. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think Farmer is pretty bad right now. I think giving your opponent eggs if you're playing against a decent opponent is really, really, really bad. I still don't think it's worse than Spelly. E tier? You really think so? Do you think it's the worst kit in the game? Do you think it's worse than Troll? Because it gives your opponent eggs? Like, do you think it actually might be E tier? Like, worse than Troll or better than Troll still? I can kind of get behind that. Alright, so when you're ranking kits, assume that you're playing against a good player. Like, let's assume that you're playing against Gorzy and Gorzy's playing really smart. Would you rather have Troll or Farmer? If Gorzy doesn't have access to the eggs normally. I think you'd rather have Troll, because it gives you a better chance. You'd rather have Farmer? I think you'd rather have Troll. You're not giving your opponent... You're not giving Gorzy eggs, so he can't egg you and use that to destroy you. And the Troll gives you the ability to poison him and stall him. I honestly think Farmer, when it gives your opponent eggs, is the worst kit in the game. Now, if you don't spawn the mobs, it's different. But, like, at that point, you're not getting the utility. Yes. I would agree with you. So maybe we're overhyping this. Assuming you don't spawn the things and you only use the eggs against a smart player, right? Like, you don't spawn the chickens. I don't know. It's a decent kit. At that point, I think it's better than Tim. So maybe it's, like, actually C tier. If you're not spawning the chickens. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think it goes higher than C tier because, like... No, you can't kill the chickens. That's why it fucking sucks. If you spawn the chickens, you've committed to giving everyone eggs the whole game. It's trash. Your options are either give everyone eggs or only have 16 eggs the whole game. It's a terrible combination. It's honestly pretty depressing. All right, so let's start ordering these. Let's start with D tier. What do you guys think about D and C tier? Because they're relatively close. Do you think anything should move up or down? What should be ordered in what way? What are you guys feeling here? Rogue, Viking, Spell, Diver. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Yeah. Rogue is definitely top of D. I would tend to agree. Do you think anything from D moves up to C? I don't think so. You're correct. Rogue does have utility. It's basically armor potential versus utility, but I would tend to agree. All right, do you think anything from C moves down to D? And what do you think we order this? I think I agree with that D tier order though, because like Spelly at least gives you the Iron Sword equivalent. Diver is just kind of meh. Its utility is meme when you can use it, but for the most, it's pretty bad. Yes, I know, Sean, but also, like, the thing about using Diver the way you use it is you're just killing nons. Like, Diver higher than Spell? Okay, so the trade-off between the two kits is, like, Speleologist gives you an Iron Sword kit out of the gate, while Diver gives you slightly more armor potential in the form of essentially 3 protection levels, which isn't negligible. 3 protection levels is, I believe, about 4% armor, so it's about 4 to 4.5% armor over Speleologist that you're trading for the Iron Sword. And I feel like the Iron Sword, well, the Iron Sword tier of weapon is just good enough that it's better than 4% armor most of the time. The kits are very close though. Like, they're both very underwhelming. They don't give you very much. Yes, Sean, I agree. That is some big brain logic. All right, C tier. What's going where? Meatmaster really can't be too far above Viking because they're really like the same kit, but Meatmaster gets like a little more armor potential and the Iron Sword, so it's just slightly better. But it's really not that good. Like, it's not consistent. It's not very good. I almost want to move it down to D tier, but I feel like I'm undervaluing, like... Yeah, Tim is definitely better than Warlock, because Warlock doesn't have utility. Tim gives you the XP. It gives you, I think, a little more gear. I think Tim is probably better than Warlock, yeah. I don't know how I feel about Horse. Horse is decent, but, like... it's not very good, actually. I don't know what I feel like is more useful. A horse with its utility to mow nons? Because, like, again, when you're balancing kits, you have to, like... yeah, that's probably true. Fish is definitely not super strong. I would agree. That's probably very true. By the way, on average, I would say when I play Snowman, I use about 30 to 40 snowballs usually, which means that Farmer is going to last you for about half of the game, typically. So you need to find a rod in about half of the game and do that. So you definitely gotta find a rod there. The utility of Farmer, just getting an Iron Sword and getting Iron Legs, I think is still better than the Fish. Now the question is, Hype Train. Where are we feeling about that? I think Hype Train is definitely better than Knight. No questions asked. Is Hype Train better than Florist? I think so. I think Hype Train's better than Florist too. Is it better than diamond pieces? That's the question. Hype Train is an armor potential kit at Prestige 2. But does the Rod and the Clean Stone Sword outrank this? I kind of think it does. I think this kit I think it's probably the best C tier kit, personally. Hype Train is essentially like you take Horse Tamer and you switch the horse for a Rod every game. I think Hype Train is better than Horse. Maybe controversial, but you're basically trading the Rod for the horse. The kits are very similar in basically every other aspect of how they are. They're both armor potential boot kits with full leather that I think gets a little bit of protection. They get an Iron Sword tier weapon. The utility of Hype Train is that it's a clean Iron Sword, so you can block it and enchant, and it gets a Rod. Horse's utility is obviously getting a horse. I feel like Hype Train is going to be more consistently important, particularly against difficult opponents. Just because, like, a horse doesn't really help you against a good player unless they're, like, low and you're trying to clean them. If they're full HP, they're geared, horse doesn't do anything for you. A lot of times it hurts you because you have to get off of the horse, and it's just annoying. I feel like, I don't know. I think this is reasonable. Yeah, exactly. You can't kill someone's Rod. You can kill someone's horse with a bow really easily, especially the horse, because the horse isn't slow, or the horse isn't fast like a donkey. That shit's slow. You fucking bow that thing in 2 or 3 hits, and then it's gone. Your utility is gone, and then you're just playing a real mediocre kit. I think Hype Train's top C, personally. I think it's in a good spot there. Yes, I would agree. But the utility of the horse is good enough that I think it's like, it's respectable. I think it is probably better than these 2 kits. The question is Florist better than these 2 kits? Is Florist better than Warlock and Tim? What do you guys think? Yeah, I think it's better than Warlock. The question is Tim. Florist gets an okay amount of armor. The thing is, Tim offers gear potential, while Florist offers inconsistent utility. That's the thing about Florist. It's like, it can be okay, but it's inconsistent. And inconsistency is why it can't go higher. If the Thorn's activated every time, the kit would be fucking S tier. But it doesn't activate every time, so like, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like Knight, I don't know as well about Knight. Sean, Elliott, any opinions from you fellas? Do you think Knight is better than these 2? You think it's good like this? You think this is correct? I could agree. Alright, B tier. There's the most kits in B tier, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so with all these kits in B tier, do you think any of these deserve to move up or down? Is the question. Considering it's Prez 2, so you have to consider, like... Yes, I know, Wolf is very good. I think Wolf is high B, but I don't know. I don't think Wolf is A tier. I don't think Wolf is A tier at all. Definitely not. I think Iraq is better than Wolf Tamer, personally. Because Iraq just lets you... It's more flexible, I think. Wolf is definitely very good, though. But, again, A tier, I feel like you need slightly better than Guardian with Pig. Do you think so? Do you think the ability to be aggressive is better than the ability to... Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a very good weapon, but people overhype the weapon. Like, The weapon alone isn't really what makes Pig a good choice. It's the fact that it gets the mob decent armor potential because it gets a Prot 3 helmet at Pres 2, it gets the AoE rods, and it gets the mob, which can be annoying. So, like, that's what makes this kit good. Not because of the weapon. The weapon is just kind of nice. It's just decent to have. You know, it's good, but it's whatever. It's not that important. But I could agree with this. Do you think Guardian is better than Creeper? I kind of do. I think Guardian's pretty strong. I think this kit's very good. Do you think Astro is better than Creeper? I think Creeper Pres 2 with the gold legs gets a lot of gear, and it effectively gets the same weapon. So, like, I feel like the TNT is better utility than Astro. I feel like Creeper's probably actually better than Astro. The question is... Really? You think the res? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying the res. The res is what makes that kit competitive. Like, it's really good. It's really, really good. However, like, I don't know. Maybe Astro is even higher than this, to be honest. I don't know. Like, res is very strong. And, you know, if it was Splash Res, this bitch would be up. This bitch would be A tier if it was Splash. But because you have to drink it, it's the same issue with Guardian. Like, you gotta drink that shit. Yeah, Creeper is very easy to play around. The utility is good, but yeah. Yeah, that's true. Creating space is easy, unless your opponent is super cheating and playing ultra aggro. But I would agree. Do you think Astro is better than Guardian? Or do you think Astro has hit its limit here? Yeah, you're right. Super cheaters don't count. You can't balance that. Guardian is better? Okay. This bitch. Alright, let's put the 3 fire kits here. Where do they go? Do you think anything goes up? Do you think anything moves down? What's the thought here? Blaze is the best kit in B tier? I could agree with that. I think Blaze is nuts. Iron Sword, Iron Chestplate, Flame Axe, that shit's broken. I think Phoenix is nuts. I think this kit is fucking crack. Like, this kit is very good. Yeah, Blaze is nuts. I think Blaze is borderline A. I don't think it's quite as good as any of these kits, but it's definitely up there. The question is Phoenix better than Iraq? I feel like it is. I feel like Phoenix is right here. I think that's solid. The question is Red Dragon... Yeah, the bow is fucking insane. I can't stand the Phoenix bow. That shit's broke. It's just the rest of the kit isn't that broke. And it's a Durabo. If it was a full bow, this shit would be fucking SS. Best kit in the game, but it's not. Alright, Red Dragon. Where are we putting this bitch? I kind of want to put it like bottom B, but I don't know. Like, fire is still good, but Red Dragon's fire utility is by far the worst because it's super telegraphed. You have to be really, really good at flint and stealing, and your opponent has to not expect it. The mobs are definitely not negligible with Red Dragon, though. Like, I've actually died a few times to, like, going and trying to killing a Red Dragon, and then they just fucking spam their mobs out, and they do a fuckload of damage and kill you. Like, the mobs are decent utility, but again, it's all super close range, and the kit doesn't really give you a huge advantage close range. So, I don't think it's that good. I don't know. I feel like it's fine here. Scout. What are we feeling about Scout? Also Hunter. These kits are like where are we moving these? Scout and Hunter are similar. I feel like Hunter is just pretty decently better. Because it still gets the power bow. It still gets the speed. It actually gets an extra potion, I believe, which is really good. It's just a matter of like where Hunter racks up to the rest of these kits. Splash speed, super good. Power bow, super good. Its armor is meh, and its sword is meh, but the utility it gets is top tier. Like, if it got an iron sword, this kit would be S tier. So the question is, how much does the iron sword to the stone sword impact this kit's value? I don't know, man. Hunter might be okay, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to just look at the potential of the kit. You can't really judge the kit by who plays it because, like that's just not really reasonable. Not very many people that are good with Shadow Knight play Shadow Knight. If there was someone who was genuinely good at debuffing that was playing Shadow Knight, you'd want to fucking kill yourself. Same thing with Tox and Reaper. It's why we're seeing those kits are fucking crazy. Because people that are learning to debuff are picking up these debuff kits. But, like, for a long time, no one good actually played them. So, like, it was not really relevant. But, like, Scout gets slowness potions, which is definitely not negligible. Full leather with iron boots is meh. The gear is okay at Prez 2. It's not terrible. It's not great. Oh, Prez 2 Shadow Knight is an extra fucking potion, dude. That shit's fucking stupid. It's so nuts. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys feel about Scout? Do you think Scout is any better than any of these kits? Do you think it's bottom B? Do you think it's better than anything in here? Would I rather get Creeper or Scout from random if I'm just playing random? I kind of agree. I think I'd rather get Scout. I think Scout's right here, personally. I think this is right where I put Scout. I think Astro is better than Scout, but I think Scout is better than Creeper. Does Jockey make a move or does Jockey stay bottom B? Bottom B or bottom B? I wish. Is this the correct location for 3 Jockey eggs, an iron sword, an iron chestplate? No. Back. I could get down with that, honestly. Jockey's pretty strong. Controversial opinion here. Jockey might be better than Creeper, right? I think Jockey gets pretty similar armor to Prez 2. Yes, you're very right, Elliot. I think Jockey gets very similar armor, but it gets an iron sword, and the utility is a little bit more flexible. Now the question is Jockey better than Scout? I kind of feel like I'd rather get Jockey than Scout, personally. Like, Scout's good, but Jockey's a lot of gear, so you only have to find top pieces. But you'd rather get Scout than Jockey. Speed versus gear. The Jockey mobs definitely aren't strong. Oh, yeah, you mean like where they just don't teleport? Yeah, I know. Chest route is definitely something to account for. Yeah, Jockeys they're kind of weird. I think it's just a matter of the gear. So I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. I think we could keep this here, and that's fine. That's reasonable. Alright. Do you think anything else in B tier needs to move? Or do you think B tier is pretty good to go then? Alright, on to the heavy hitters. The A tier. Alright, so I think all of the debuff kits are really close. I think Yeah, I can actually agree with that. I think this is correct. Honestly, I almost think looking at Red Dragon, I almost think Red Dragon is worse than Hype Train. Call me crazy, but I almost want to do that. I almost want to move Hype Train above Red Dragon. Red Dragon's utility is very mediocre. Like, really, I kind of want to do that. Is it more utility though? Like, a rod is not something to sleep on, especially a rod that you're getting every game. Yes, you usually get a rod in a chest, but what about those games where you don't get a rod, right? And you're like, fuck, I don't have a rod. I'm at a huge disadvantage here. You never have that game with Hype Train. I don't know what all armor does Red get? Hype Train's armor potential too, though. I think Hype Train's armor potential is actually better, right? Because it's a Prot 3 iron piece. The Prot 3 iron helm from Snowman is better than a diamond hat. So the Prot 3 iron boots from Hype Train are also better than a diamond hat. Because they're the same piece of gear. Although, yes, I think the armor potential, or the base armor, is better on Red Dragon. But the armor potential is about the same. They're both armor potential kits. So it's really, does the mobs in FNS beat out the rod? That's the question. That is true. The mobs definitely counter rods. To a degree, of course. But to a certain extent, yes. Yes, you are correct. These kids are pretty close. It's really just like, the reason why I think Hype Train is better is because Hype Train offers consistency. And consistency is the best part of a kit. The more consistent a kit is, the better it is. And I think Hype Train is more consistent. Honestly, I think Hype Train is just better than Red. I think that's where Red ends up, though, because I think Red Dragon is better than Horse, because Horse's utility is really not that good at this point. This is my opinion, though. I think Hype Train is slightly better than Red Dragon in the current existence of the game, personally. All right, let's go back to A. I think this is fine now. A tier. So, is Archer better than the debuff kits? And what's the order of the debuff kits? I think it might be this, but it also might be like Shadow Knight is like here. I don't know. Do you guys think Shadow Knight is better than Reaper and Tox? Or do you think Reaper and Tox are better? I think Tox is better than Reaper because it offers more utility, even though Reaper has the killing potential. But, like, Tox is just kind of crack. That kid is really good. So the thing that Shadow Knight offers is that Shadow Knight is armor potential, consistent gear, and consistent debuff. Reaper is... I think Shadow Knight is better than Reaper. I think Shadow Knight is better than Reaper, and here's why. Shadow Knight has a better weapon. It has similar armor potential. Yes, I would tend to agree. Tox definitely has the element of surprise. Shadow Knight can be played around to a decent degree. The reason why I think Shadow Knight is still better than Reaper is because Reaper doesn't have crit damage, and I don't know though. They're all close. Reaper also kind of has that element of surprise. But Tox is better than Reaper, I think, because it gets more overall damage. It gets healing. It also gets armor potential in the form of the iron chest plate plus the rest of the gear. What do you guys think? And do you think that Slime is better than any of these other debuff kits? We haven't organized S tier yet, although I don't know that S tier really needs a lot of organizing here. It might just be that. We're in the process of organizing A tier at the moment. Do you guys think that Slime is better than any of the other debuff kits? So the benefit that Slime has over Shadow Knight is, yeah, Donkey's definitely better than Warrior. Donkey might be better than the debuff kits, but I'm not sure. Slime is worse than all. So the argument for Slime is that it can't get bowed, and the main counter to a debuff kit is to keep your distance. And keeping your distance from Slime doesn't really do much for you. Like, Slime can just sit comfortably away at the distance and then just wait for you to come in. However, it's not as powerful. Like, slowness is good, but it's not necessarily as strong as the rest of the debuffs. So it's really like, is projectile protection worthwhile or not? I kind of think it's the worst debuff kit as well, but there's like an argument to be made for it. But yeah, do you guys think Donkey is better than the debuff kits or worse than the debuff kits? I feel like it's worse than the debuff kits. I think Donkey is good there. Yep. Alright, does Archer move to S tier? Does Archer stay top of A? Is it worse than debuff kits? I don't think it's worse than Donkey. I think it's definitely better than Donkey. We haven't balanced the whole kit yet. Don't worry. I think Baker is above. I definitely think Baker is better. It's just a matter of where Baker goes. I'll do this to appease you for now, though. Do we move Archer to S? What do you guys think? Better than Necroprez 2? You're on fucking crack. Necroprez 2 gets a Pigman sword. Remember, we're doing Prestige 2. Necroprez 2 might be the best kit in the game. Ranger is possibly better, but I think Necroprez 2 is the best kit in the game, personally. It literally has, like, no counters. It has the best weapon. It gets consistent full chain plus iron boots. It gets projectile protection, so it counters all of the other kits. And it gets a Pigman sword. That shit's retarded. That kit's fucking stupid. But, does A move up, or does, I can't speak. Does Archer move up to S? I kind of think it does. I think this kit's really good. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? What does my boy, what does Sean think? Unduckable, Elliot. I know Chow thinks so, but I wanna know what everyone thinks. Archer's very good. Definitely very good. Prestige Archer is just basically normal Archer. Like, they're basically the same thing. It just gets more arrows. You think Archer's fine at top of A? That's fair. Alright, what else needs to be organized in this kit? I don't think that armor is better than any of the rest of these kits, because even though armor soft counters the debuff kits, you need a chest route for armor. I don't know. Maybe, okay. However, you could argue that armor is here. You could do that. You could argue that. Because Prestige 2 armor does get the wood axe, which means that you don't actually need to play a chest route at all if you don't want to. You have the option of just being an aggressive retard and just abusing your kit and just running through everyone and using your wood axe to upgrade to a better weapon to upgrade to a better weapon. Where do you guys think this puts Prestige Armor? Oh no, I have opened document. Snowman's definitely bottom A, by the way. It's not better than the rest of these kits. Also, I'm just changing this to F and getting rid of this. We don't need that extra row there. I think we just do this. So here's the thing. Baker is better than Armor. And that's because Baker gets the Iron Sword and it is Armor 10 in a bottle, effectively. So I think from a melee perspective, Baker is better than Armor. However, Armor does counter utility. So the question is, do you guys think that Baker is better than Armor overall? You think so? I would tend to agree. Do you think Baker is better than debuff kits? That's the real question. Nope. Okay. Maybe Slime? See, I actually don't think it's better than Slime because Slime has that ability of, like, your opponent can't run away. Like, they can run away from Slime, but it's going to stall the game and force you into melee. Baker, like, can be stalled out. And, like, they're very similar in that aspect. So, I still think Slime is probably a little better than Baker. What do you guys think of this A tier? You think the A tier is looking good? Do you think anything needs to move? You think it's comfortable? I think it's pretty comfortable here. I think everything's looking good, and then we get to hash out S and discuss what the best kits in the game are and what the order they go is. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be very fun. I'm assuming that most people are playing games right now, so they're like multitasking while we do this, which is understandable. Necro, Golem, Ranger, Paladin. No, Ranger is better than these. Ranger's better than the healing kits. It counters them. Bows drain this shit. That's almost why I wanted to move Archer up to A. But the thing about Archer is that these hit kits have that Archer doesn't, is that Archer doesn't have punch, and that's a big deal. If the counter to a bow kit is to strafe sporadically and rod them so that their aim goes off. If a Necro or a Ranger hits one shot on you, you basically get reset. An Archer doesn't reset you away from them, so you can close the gap on an Archer. You can't do it to a Ranger or a Necro. That's why I think Archer probably stays in A, and that's what I think here. Sean, do you think that Golem getting the Gapple is better than the extra armor potential of Paladin? I know you obviously love Golem, but do you think it's actually better, is the question. He's fighting? Okay, no problem. He said Golem? Alright, so what do you think, Johnny? Do you think that the, 4 or 5 hearts from the Gapple is better than the armor potential from Paladin? Paladin can block hit. Paladin gets 3 levels of armor protection, which is similar to something like Snowman. You're basically never going to replace the chest plate. You might replace the helmet. These kits are very close. They're very, very similar. It's really just armor potential. Excuse me. Is it armor potential and block hit? Or is it... Yeah, that's true. Paladin also has the flexibility of being able to heal all at once or heal in things. Sure, you are not wrong, but you also get more armor consistently. It does. Like I said, these kits are incredibly close. I'm curious as to what everyone thinks here of Golem versus Paladin. They're very, very close in what they are. They're almost the same. It's just that Paladin gets more armor and can block hit. Golem gets the Gapple. And definitely don't sleep on block hitting, because outside of speed, block hitting is fucking broken. Properly block hitting, obviously. Not just block hit spamming. That's just retarded. If you do that, please quit. But if you use your block hits properly, it's very strong. Even with speed, it can be strong. And I do think that's a big thing. But I'm also biased here, and Sean is biased, which is why I want to get the opinions of the people that are not biased on these kits. Because Sean and I could sit here and argue all day and probably wouldn't get anywhere. You can't fuck up. Ooh, that's true. Golem does offer consistency in the pots. It does. I feel like that pot consistency is actually probably enough to make it better. Because I definitely have times where I miss my pots like a fucking retard. And I get a little salty about it. It's definitely like a point of contention here. I think that's fine. So I think we're pretty good here then. So I'm curious if you guys would make any changes to this final list. What you guys think of it? I'm feeling pretty good about this list, honestly. I think it's pretty good right now. I am pretty happy with how this is looking. Have we unlocked the full Prez 2 tier list? I kind of think we have. I think this is pretty accurate. I think the debate really comes down to less about S and A and more about like B and C and where everything goes there. That's really just the argument, is like the utility of the utility kits. Where do they go? But I think we had a pretty good discussion, and I think everything is relatively around where it should go, more or less. It's pretty good. All right, we're gonna save this. Download image, and then we're going to rename Prez 2 tier list. All right, so I have a question for you, you viewers. General chat's being retarded right now. How do I upload this stream as a video, but then include chat if possible? Because I'd like to upload this as like a discussion video, but I'd also like to have the Twitch chat on there, and I don't know how to do that. There's a setting in YouTube. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I could just leave the stream and like rename it and list it as a discussion, and it has a chat. That's a fair point. I think I'll just do that then. Well, yeah, I think we're pretty good here. Um, yeah, good stuff. Very, very good. Well, thank you guys for joining in and helping to list out our Blitz tiers. I don't know if anyone has done a Prez 2 tier list before, but if not, now we have one. And we have the opinions of not just one person, but quite a few people here. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now because I'm not playing anything and the tier list is done. So, yeah, see you guys around.